Okay, I'm filming. I'm gonna use glasses. Okay. It's all about how everything looks on camera.
For the sake of...
Hey guys, Felicia here. This episode, we talk about the penicillin cocktail. To stretch my filmmaker legs, I wanted to take my hand at directing, cinematography, and editing. So here it is, my first run, directing, filming, and editing. Stay tuned after the short video for this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are recording. Yeah, here we are. Hi, everybody. I'm Felicia. Welcome to my podcast, Art or Die. I'm here with Devin
Sheffey.
That's right. That's right. I have guests on my show, and I don't learn how to pronounce their name because I'm an asshole. So, yeah. So Devin Sheffey is a former colleague of mine. We used to bartend together back in the day. And we're here to talk about this amazing cocktail. Devin, I hand it over to you. What are we drinking?
We are drinking Penicillin. It's definitely my top 3 favorite cocktails. It's just all the flavors I enjoy: ginger, lemon, honey, and scotch. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, and so we did this whole bit before making the cocktail, where my art project that I want to do with this episode is I want to make a little film. So I was recording him from all these different angles making the drink, and it was pretty interesting. There's experimental at best. So to taste it is really nice. I enjoy it.
No, that was a fun little video project.
Yeah, let's see what it turns out as. But so this drink, what I'm thinking, we also had to get really creative. I kind of fucked up and I forgot the ginger. So, what were those little candies called?
Gingins?
Gingins. I got some gingins at Whole Foods, or not Whole Foods, at whatever, at some place that has the word whole in it, or market. I got these gingins and melted them down with honey and a little bit of water. And I mean, I think it works pretty good.
Honestly, it turned out better than some other penicillins I've had.
Well, I did it completely on purpose.
Clearly.
But,
I mean, we're bartenders. We think outside the box.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you don't have a lemon, you use a lime, you know.
Yeah. Interchangeable.
Yeah. But this drink, I was reading a lot about it. I know in the last 3 years that I'd been bartending in San Francisco, it became extremely or it didn't become, but it was ordered a lot more where I was working. And I'm not really a big scotch or whiskey drinker. So let me turn my body. I'm turning away from the microphone. Okay. So it wasn't a cocktail that I really would ever order. I just made them a lot. But especially today, it's cooler out. And it's got this nice, like, honey sweetness. And reading that, how it got its name was because it had the honey and the ginger, which are medicinal properties. So it's supposed to be like the hot toddy's cousin.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So drink a penicillin when you're not feeling well, or or when your voice is cracking. I was doing some voiceovers this morning, so.
What was the old technique for parents rubbing whiskey on a child's gums or something when they're
Yeah.
teething. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm a product of that.
I think I probably am too.
Definitely a product of that. I remember one time I was out fishing with my dad and we didn't have any water or something, or we left the ice chest, and my dad gave me a beer to drink. So,
It's mostly water, depending on what it is.
I mean, it was a natural light,
Yeah.
so it was definitely a beer
That's probably 40% water anyway.
at best. It was either that or drinking the Sacramento River water. And I don't think
You
I'd be.
chose wisely that day.
I don't think I would be here now.
Yeah, that's a smart dad.
Yeah.
Sacramento River or a beer.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this drink is for my scratchy, itchy throat. When I take sips, it's nice and cool, and it's got that coating quality of the honey.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only recently really grown into the peatiness, and I love it because it's got the sweetness, but it's also not overly sweet. The peat comes in and kind of rounds up the honey from having too much fun. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah, I like the sweet tart balance, but I think the winner for this drink is that float of scotch, that peaty scotch on the top, because
For sure.
Yeah, and it keeps everything as you drink it. It keeps everything balanced versus if that were to be blended into the drink, it would probably either be extremely off-putting on the scotch side, or if you drink this with a straw, it's a completely different drink, which is why you don't ever serve it with a straw. Because
I think that's originally how he did serve it.
With a straw.
Yeah. So then
I read that he didn't.
No, I mean, this is the thing about the internet, the glorious internet. He was saying that you would serve it with a straw, which I wouldn't, because I don't want to suck on a straw. What is this, a Capri Sun? I don't want it. But he was saying that you use a straw so that way you taste the tartness, and while you're tasting it, your nose is right in the peat because the peat stays on top.
Okay.
I mean, either way.
So originally he served it, and by he we were talking about Sam Ross.
Correct. From Milk and Honey.
Yes. Have you been there, by the way?
No, I don't. I'm not much of a.
I know it's not there anymore. It's
I
now
dive bar
Attaboy.
it when I go anywhere, really. So.
Well, yeah.
And
I
not
think
famous.
that's the bartender way. Is like, what's the dirtiest, grimiest local dive bar?
I'd be like, where's the bar with the least amount of people in it? I'm posting up there.
Yeah.
I want everyone to leave me alone. And now look at everything.
Give me a jukebox and a Boilermaker, and we're set.
Oh man, those days of walking in and just sitting down and ordering a drink.
I
miss it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, obviously going through all of last year, it's definitely probably helped more than anything, helped my bank account not being able to go out to bars.
Oh,
But
yeah. It's really helped
the-
my complexion. The alcohol's not very good for your skin, buddy.
Yeah. I'm not really dehydrated that much anymore, No, but just I don't know, there's something just so comforting with being able to sit at a bar and just talk the shit with people.
Yeah, with people you don't know and you're never going to see again.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah, depending on the content, hopefully.
Depending on, yeah. I know the bars where, like, my favorite thing was getting off of work and in San Francisco, and like Hayes was the last place that I was working, or, in downtown, and you get off of work and I passed probably 50 bars at least walking home every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would be a matter of, what journey do I want tonight?
Yeah.
Do I want to go into this weird regulars bar and sit with these weird people that are from another planet? Do I want to go to this hyphy, there's so many different options.
Lizard people.
Yeah. And then sometimes you're like, well, let's just see what happens. And
What's the dive bar in Financial District that opens up? It's like 6 a.m. It has pool table. It's been there for probably 50-ish years.
I know where you're talking about.
I never remember the name of it.
I've been there and I can't remember the name of it either. It's like just south of Market, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
it is such
fuck.
it's such a good place, and I really hope it comes out of this, because that would definitely be one place that I look to go to next time I go to the city. And indoor, everything is, back to full swing.
Yeah. Well, Nameless Bar in south of Market. We hope you survive. Yeah. Getting off of work and, just going and sitting down and when not even talking to anyone. And I wouldn't look at my phone, and I would love a last word. And I would, go and, I'd have my stages or whatever. I would drink, I did green chartreuse just by itself. And then I'd have like a soda back, and I would just sip green chartreuse. And then before I'd leave, I'd have a last word and to just sit there and like drink it all the way. And then at the very end of it, eat my cherry. And like, as I'm chewing the cherry, there was a bar across the street from my apartment in San Francisco that had a really nice last word. And, as I was eating my cherry, I'd be like unlocking my gate. And I'm like, oh, time to go to bed. This is like such a perfect, like, cherry on the top of my probably shitty bartending night.
No, it is. Especially, too, when the staff get to know you a little bit more. And like for me, getting off a shift, going to a place where maybe one or two people know me and we're cordial or whatever, or it's a spot that I used to work at, and it's like that 11 to 3 a.m. somewhere in that window of getting off of work and going in for a nightcap or just that one drink after work, going home. It's a good feeling when it's something positive, I guess.
It's like a sense of community.
Yeah.
Because I would get off of work at Lowbrow, and what's the barbecue place that's right there on J Street?
Tank House.
Tank House, yeah. And so I would leave Lowbrow and I would walk past it, and my boyfriend who I was staying with at the time lived just one more street over, and I would get
a good problem to have.
Yeah, and it was just so perfect. I would get off of work and I would go there, and the bartender would recognize me. I'd get a tall Rainier and 2 Fernets for my Rainier.
Sure.
And, and we didn't talk or have a relationship, but just like the nod when you go in, like
bartender's language.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like he knew I was just getting off of work, and he was like, "How was it?" And be like, "Oh, good." Or if it was like, "Ugh," he knew I was not going to have just 2 Fernets that night, and so he wouldn't put the bottle back on the shelf. But or just being able to. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but you just go somewhere and you have your drink and you're out on the patio by yourself and you're just like chain smoking away your problems. And did you smoke ever cigarettes?
No.
Well, good for you.
I've smoked twice or 2 cigarettes my entire life, and
it's really fun. Don't start.
halfway through both times, I was like, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah,
this is
that's a proper way to think. It's really gross. I did it for 18 years.
Okay.
And I stopped, but
Well,
I don't miss it. Yeah, thank you. I don't miss it, but it was fun and cool. It's like the reckless ex from my past.
I think we all have those instances, those things that were the reckless ex,
like drugs or whatever.
Whatever, the mushrooms,
Well, actually, the mushrooms are what helped me quit smoking, because I tried to quit, and then there was like a month where I would be fine unless I drank. And then as soon as I drank, whoop, here comes a cigarette. And I had all these like half packs of cigarettes because I wouldn't bring them with me. And then I'd go to work, and sure enough, I'd fall into a bar on my way home. And then one night I did a little bit more mushrooms than just a fuzz. And I went to smoke a cigarette, and my mind was just like, wow. And it was like, why would you do this? And ever since then, I've never had a craving. I just thought like,
that's crazy.
I know, my mind was like, it like almost pictured on a cellular level everything happening. I mean, I still smoke weed all the fucking time, but
that's because it's great.
Weed and nicotine are different. So, I mean, weed doesn't make me look that old or nicotine, like after a long night of smoking, you wake up and you just, you look gross.
Same for a long night of drinking.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't drink as much anymore, but maybe that's just being in your mid-30s. How old are you?
31.
Oh, I'm older.
A lot of people are older than me. That doesn't. What are you, like 32? I'm
I'm
gonna walk
turning
out of here.
36 in less than a month. I feel like a young smart me, a younger a me young but smarter than when I was young. But I can't say the
Sure.
sentence, so now I just
I see
totally
what.
negate
No,
everything
no,
that I
no.
just said.
Almost like the saying of, uh, if I knew back then what I know now. You're
Yeah.
like you're at that point, but you still feel physically like young and spry, and
Well,
you're
I think
like
I feel
young at heart.
physically better. I think I feel all around better
That's
because
fun. That's fantastic.
yeah, because I mean, I weigh maybe I'm always within like a 10-pound range except for like one time when I got really fat and ugh. But I'm always within 10 pounds. So I roughly look the same, but I just feel like a lot healthier because you know, I don't drink every day. I don't smoke cigarettes every day and you know, just being happier. Like part of the reason why I stopped bartending before COVID is because I fucking hated it. And every day I would just, for 8, 10 hours, I would just be like, I was like disgruntled employee. So I had to bow out.
Do you think that's more ab- about the balance like outside of bartending, as far as doing other things that make you happy, and like maybe not doing as much of that, and then the
Right.
majority of our identity or time spent is at a job, whether that be with coworkers or management that we love or guests that we love, or the polar opposite?
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a huge factor because, you know, for the last however many years, the last 5 years or 6 years now, um, I've been working at jobs where I was working well over 40 hours a week,
Hmm.
always.
Sure.
And I've had a second job for 8 years that always, like, I was working all these hours at the restaurant and I still had another job that I was doing too on the side whenever I could. So I think there's definitely the work life balance that was thrown out. But I think probably you know, in the industry it's just you're serving, and there's nothing wrong with that because I very much love it, and whenever someone comes over to the house I want to Martha Stewart the fuck out of it and host the shit out of it. But when you're serving other people all the time, and I was going through my own struggles, I felt like I needed to stop serving people and serve myself. And also the like the last place that I was working, it was just so ridiculous. Like the conversations that I would hear and shit. And it's like, I just wanted to shoot myself in the face sometimes. And it was like such a small bar, so you couldn't not hear it. And it's just like really very wealthy people that live in a bubble and brutal. It's brutal. Super brutal. San Francisco is a fucking bubble though. So, you know.
It very much is, yeah. um, well, I'm glad that you're doing much better.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really happy about your art and podcast and everything. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's you know, well, before COVID started, I started going back to school um because I wanted to stop bartending,
Hmm.
and it worked out perfect. Now I'm just able to go full time and um
For audio.
audio production. I want
Okay.
to focus on like sound design. But I'm also learning like film editing and um now, I mean, I'm just like, I want to get better at using my camera. So I just signed on to take for summer semester. I'm going to take photography uh, class.
Okay.
Words. I'm going to take a photography class.
Words
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sentences.
And photography and Photoshop for photographers. So
Okay.
specializing in portraiture type things like that because I'm not working right now aside from having my business and these other little small endeavors. So I just want to
Yeah.
stuff my
Just
brain as much as
exactly.
I can.
Just invest in you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
that's
long?
awesome.
How long have you been back bartending?
I went back to work at the end of January,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been working consistently 3 shifts a week, if not four. I mean, people are people are just ready to go out, be social, and
I feel like there's a really big difference between Sacramento and Bay Area people. I mean, a lot of people are going out in the Bay Area, but I know the mindset is it's a little bit more delicate here.
Yeah,
In
I mean,
Sacramento,
definitely a mixed bag in Sacramento. You know, because it's such a unique hub for that area with all the suburbs around it, where you know you get the
capital
the
right in the
weekend,
middle.
yeah, the capital. You get your weekend warriors coming out from like Roseville and stuff, and you know, and out there and in places like Placer County and stuff, like they are, if they're not back to indoor dining,
They're back. I've been doing some
yeah,
work up with a collaborator of mine,
okay,
and I was just up there, and
very
I
little
ate in a
masks,
restaurant.
yeah, right, and
It was lovely.
let's not joke. I know, and myself included, we've made those trips where it's like I just want to sit in a restaurant
Yeah,
and a
absolutely.
bar without a mask and like whatever.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean, I
sit
haven't
like
had that
25,000
opportunity.
feet away from somebody. I don't care, but I just want to sit at a bar or in a booth
Put
with
me
no
in a
mask.
pod.
Yeah.
You know, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I do understand how, well, without getting, this will be the last thing about the COVID because I don't want to get too much in it, but I do, you know, how I do miss like bumping into people and all that sorts of stuff. But when people talk about concerts and you get a pod with like 4 to 6 people, I don't know. That sounds pretty fucking cool. But that
So,
also could be because I'm in my 30s now, because in my 20s, I think I really wanted to rub up on people.
sure.
Now I only want to rub up on specific people.
100%. Unless I'm going to a like an aftershock or something like that where it's just like I don't care. I want to be sweaty and dirty and grimy and
Right.
like rock out with people. But if I'm at the place now where if I
You're
go
right
to
on
a
the
show,
crux. You're going to start tilting to where you
oh
want
no,
to sit during
I've
certain
already
songs.
yeah, that's fair. Because the last concert
I'll
I
greet
went
you
to,
at the gate.
yes, the last concert I went to was February 2020 in Sacramento, and I saw Silver Sun Pickups,
Oh, yeah,
and it
okay.
was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Where at?
Ace of Spades in
Oh my God,
Sacramento.
that's a good spot.
Yeah,
It's so small.
it is small, and I
The
had
sound might
never
not be
seen
great,
them
but-
live. I have grown up listening to them, so they were always on my list of must sees. It was phenomenal. I brought a friend that I'd never heard of them before, let alone listened to them or seen them. He had a great time. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to, and the entire time, my whole focus was very internal almost. Like I didn't care about like
Right.
hugging up with other people, whereas maybe 5 years ago I would probably be in the middle of the floor like jumping around with everybody, but I don't know, I think music's a lot more visceral to me now, even at a live show.
Were you drunk,
No.
sober, high?
I was slightly high.
Okay. Are
Slightly.
you normally though when you see music?
Yes,
Okay, so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not a,
I don't like talk
can
to
eliminate
people when
that
I'm at a
factor.
show. I don't
You're
yeah,
there for the music.
I'm there for the show. I'm
Right.
there to like absorb
right.
everything. Like a Muse concert, mind blowing.
I've heard that. You know, I've heard that they're really an extremely powerful band.
Yes.
And you know, I've heard like a lot of some of the, I just totally brain farted. Some of the best concerts or experiences that I've had was seeing artists or bands that are not in my wheelhouse that I wasn't expecting to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, when the first time I ever saw The Cure is going to be my all-time favorite music experience because The Cure is my favorite band. But I have all these amazing experiences from seeing all these bands that I never would have seen on my own. And it completely blew me away because, you know, a lot of reasons, expectations or whatnot, but you're able, to just go into it. And I haven't seen the Muse, but one other band that I would say really blew me away and I wouldn't expect to was System of a Down, which I kind of am embarrassed
Okay.
to say that.
Why?
I don't
love
know. I
System of a
didn't
Down.
listen to that I didn't listen to it, but I was at a
You're talking to like 15-year-old Devin right now. That was my jam.
Well, I was 15, so you were like 10. When
That's
I
not a huge
remember
difference.
my friend, her dad got us tickets to go to a festival or something because her dad was amazing and always did that. My friend Ginger, if you're listening to this, you should probably not shout out Your dad's awesome. But he would buy us tickets to go to concerts. And I think we were supposed to see the Deftones. And System of a Down played. And I didn't really like them or know much of them. And it was amazing. I mean, I was also 15. So my, mindset changes. But, you get the idea what I'm saying.
I do. I mean, 15, I remember I still get made fun of to this day by some people. But basically, I had a 3-album rotation for probably 6 months when I was 15.
Oh my God, I need to know it.
3 albums were 13th Step from A Perfect Circle.
Okay, I was not that much into them.
That's okay. With Teeth from Nine Inch Nails.
Right.
And Toxicity from System of a Down.
Okay, so I can tell a lot about probably your attire at the age of 15 and our circles.
A lot of Hot Topic.
Everything.
Very little friends.
This is where those 5 years make a massive difference. And also, what's neat about this is it's kind of turned into like a bar experience because we're just now, who the fuck knows what we're talking about anymore? We're talking about music. But, the 5-year age difference was Hot Topic was kind of just coming around at the time, or it was still like goth topic, not pop topic, if that makes sense.
Pop, lock, and drop it.
They didn't have pop, lock. They didn't have My Little Ponies there yet when I was,
Do they have them now?
I mean, yeah, they have Care Bears and shit. Like Care Bear Stare t-shirts, like black gothic Care Bear t-shirts and stuff.
Okay.
I know. I mean, it's neat, and every lid needs a pot needs a lid.
Are we pulling the back in my day? Like...
No, but I'm saying is that so I was already pretty established and founded in my set, and I also got old people mindset when I was really young about music, and I was like, no, that's the people that are slightly younger than me's music. But
so you were above that then.
Yeah, I mean, I also listened to, when I was in high school, I was listening to Bauhaus and Sisters of Mercy. So, I had, Cure lyrics written all over my binders and everything. So, do you know who any of those bands are?
Yes, I know who The Cure is.
The other, it's a very goth, 80s. That's what I listened to for a very long time. And if you didn't listen to it, then, you just weren't cool. But I've opened up. I listened to... I mean, shit, I've seen Ween and Fish probably 8 times at least independently for work, but still, I've expanded my horizons.
Right, for work.
Yes. I had a job where I would go to music festivals all the time. And
that was your job?
Yeah, I did that job for 8 years.
That sounds like a dream come true.
Dude, that's not even it's a weird dream. So it's this art collective.
Mushroom dream come true.
Yeah, very much. So it's this art collective that this old rich hippie guy wrote books, and we would hand them out at universities and music festivals. And there was, I feel like I'm doing the spiel. And there was teams in all the major cities in the United States. So we would go to all the major universities and hand out their books. And at festivals, we would have these build outs. And we would have 1 year we had a stage, and every hour we would have these character actors act out a scene from the play. And then I was a concubine from the book named Salt Lick, and I would be come this way, download the app. It was kind of really, it was immersive art, and so it went from being a book to then we went to an app to where we would immersive with sounds and all sorts of stuff. So a really neat project. Also, I've seen a million bands that I never would have seen because of it, for better or worse.
Silver lining somewhere.
Yeah. There's definitely times when I wished I wasn't there and I was just in bed, but.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure... So I've bartended at a couple music festivals, and I'm sure I didn't care. I mean, I was making money, and I was close enough to listen to bands that I love.
Right.
Sign me up, And I wasn't spending money. Fantastic.
Yeah. Whenever you're bartending, you're never spending money on alcohol.
Yeah. I wonder if there are kind of quote unquote traveling bartenders. I mean, not obviously not right now, but that only work or that work for maybe like a third party company that
Yeah, there are.
that would be so fun. As long as
Yeah.
you pay for my room, I don't care.
Um, there's definitely companies that can do that. I mean, you can also facilitate it yourself. Where I've met lots of people when I've traveled where internationally, where you find a hostel and you work at the hostel and they give you room and board, you know? They give you get your tips and then you get a room and food.
Interesting.
Yeah, and when you're in like, Thailand or somewhere like that, you can live on such a small amount of money a day. And so if your 2 meals are paid for and your room for the night, I mean, hell, you can eat for
That's
like
awesome.
$1 a day at that rate. So
that would be a cool way to spend like 6 to 12 months
yeah, I
just
felt
like
like
traveling, work, just bartending at music festivals and shows.
yeah,
That'd be fun.
yeah. I mean, you can get in with the companies that do the festivals.
Sure.
And then you work like with the booths and whatnot.
Right.
But the conditions, the conditions. I worked at this festival. Have you ever heard of Electric Forest?
Yes.
Oh man. So the first year that we worked it, our boss sent us there for 2 full weeks.
Okay.
And it was
How
6
long
of
is the
us.
festival?
The festival was 2 weekends. So we were
Oh,
there the whole
okay.
middle time. And we had to go to Chicago beforehand. This is really uninteresting to everybody. And it's so great that it's being documented on a podcast. We had to fly into Chicago. So we had to do all this hullabaloo from Chicago to get all the way out to Muskegon, Missouri, or Muskegon, Michigan. Muskegon. And you're a Michigander out there, I learned. And, oh boy, I learned how to drive in mud.
That was
It's
so much fun.
Extremely valuable trait. And they're like, you just gotta hit it. And then, hey, you just gas it and you just hope for the best and you swerve your car the right way and you make it.
Yeah.
But so it was 6 of us and none of us knew each other. And we had to live in 2 campers for 2 weeks. And it was pouring rain. And I forgot the point of the story. Good job. Oh, yeah. The conditions were horrendous. Everything was soggy. There was like 2 feet of mud. People would lose shoes trying to walk through the mud to get places.
This
So,
sounds like a fantastic festival.
So like festivals are like fun in essence to work there. But then you think about all the front and back you have to do and
Yeah.
all the setup. And you're living in those conditions. And then also when you're not the one that's fucked up on drugs and on everything and you're having to be sober and make sure that thousands of dollars worth of tech equipment doesn't get lost or stolen.
Sure.
It's less fun.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little traumatized.
Haven't been in that position, but I could guarantee that that's extremely stressful.
Oh. Yeah, now I don't have to worry about it because nothing exists anymore.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I want another cocktail. These are delicious.
I know. Well, I think, what do we got? We think we're at the bottoms of our cocktails, and I think we're at the bottom of this podcast.
Okay.
So, Devin Sheffey,
Nailed it.
where can anyone find you if you want them to?
So in Sacramento, I work at Pizzasaurus Rex.
Rawr.
I might wear a Jeff Goldblum T-shirt to fit the fit the bill, but who knows?
Oh yes, this is a young Jeff Goldblum impersonator. Should have said that up top.
No, I'm going for a Michael Hutchins now. Growing the hair out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Transitions.
Yeah, exactly. Growth. So I bartend there. However, it's pizza, beer, and wine. But if you need if you're hankering for a cocktail in town, my top places to visit would be the Red Rabbit Kitchen and Bar, or currently that I know for sure are open. The Red Rabbit Kitchen and Bar, Shady Lady Saloon,
Of course.
the Jungle Bird, and Bottle and Barlow.
All classic Sacramento spots.
Those are the ones that I know for sure will be open. That's why I say those for sure. But they're also my favorites.
They also have great patios. I feel like Sacramento is such a
all
patio
of them do
place.
have really good patios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation.
It is.
Well, thank you so much for being on. Let's go find out about maybe another cocktail. And thank you everybody for listening this week. Maybe a little bit more bar centric than art, but it's all the same. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Anchor.fm, and Spotify at Art or Die Podcast. Also Instagram and all the bullshit. Artorddiepodcast.com and Felicia Montenegro. Bye.